Here we are with another Saturday Night Live Zoom, October 31st, 2020, and it's a howling Halloween, as they say. Hello, Steve, Stephanie, Sarah again. We got her in.
There you go.
We're gonna have to find, there's got to be a setting somewhere to be able to unlock somebody if you accidentally refuse them. Here we go. So what's everybody doing for Halloween? We were talking about Tanya was saying everybody's wearing masks. Yeah, we've been in Halloween for how long now? 7 months. A real scary one. And, it's interesting what's really happening. You know, people are wholeheartedly believe masks actually work, and that this so-called virus is gonna be responsible for your health. You know, not your lifestyle and your choices that you make each day. And you know, this is the thing that we've been singing for 5 years now, and I've been around the so-called alternative health movement for a long time, 31 years, and nothing has really changed. People, when I started, were not responsible for their health, and now it's even less, it seems. More and more people are looking for the magic pill solution, potions, lotions, et cetera, et cetera. And it's I don't know what the word to use, but it's sad, I guess, to some degree that people want to remain ignorant. I don't know if it's the program is so strong that keeps people in this ignorance or whatever, but the information today, since the internet's been broadcast, is available for everybody. Yeah, there's um, a lot of information we have to sift through. There's a lot of what we call caca out there, a lot. You can find an any subject, the positive, the negatives, and the in-betweens, every single subject. And even they come up with new categories that we haven't even heard of. This is the internet. Because, you know, with any subject, basically we have close to 8 billion people. So there's at least 8 billion different opinions and theories and so on and so forth from every single subject. That's the way I see it. But there's only one line of truth throughout all the universes that continuously flow with precision and order. And if it didn't, it would be a catastrophe and it would self-destruct. So it has to have that precision and order continuously. And our body functions on the same principles as the universes, the same principles. So when we tap into that knowledge, that memory, we see amazing things happen, as most of you, I think, have witnessed over all these years with people who've chosen to um, dive into the master fast system as part of a lifestyle. And it's a wonderful thing to see, just amazing. Um, you know, all these fictitious man-made things, like Halloween and legal stuff and so on and so forth. These are all distractions pulling us away from what our true nature is, to be in a divine, beautiful, natural state, and, and be in service to other fellow beings. And when you've chosen that path, many wonderful things will happen in your life because the laws of cause and effect run true always. You know, now we have a big globalist Luciferic agenda, whether people believe it or not. That we've been watching this stuff happening for many years. I started learning about all this stuff in my just before even fasting, I started waking up to this stuff, and then with the fast,
Mhm. Mhm.
started opening my eyes more and more and more every day. And if people want to refuse and refute what's going on here, they have that choice because everybody has free will. But um, I'm I'm in the position that to resist this Luciferic agenda at all costs.
Mhm.
The light will always prevail, but we have to work with it and have faith in it and show the light that we are willing to support it at all costs. And the light is always there with us. It only knows how to move in one direction. That's peace, balance, correct conduct. But it also will allow the free will of the individuals, I guess, to learn their lessons or for whatever. We don't have all the answers, but um, imbalance is going that route is a choice that we make, and whether it's done through ignorance or whether it's done through um, conscious, whether it's done consciously, the rules of the laws of the universe still apply. We can't escape these laws. Man's laws, they're, they're just written on paper and these days on digital format, but um, there's some of the main principles of common law which adhere to universal law, and those are the ones that um, we must abide by at all costs and support those laws. Any what's the saying go? Any laws that are not in line with the universe. Um, how does it go again? We must resist at all costs, something like that. I can't remember. There's a saying about not supporting anything that's not just. Any, or does it go morals? Any laws that are not morally correct, you cannot support. Doesn't matter that they are the law on the land. Um, we must be clear in our intent and emotion of where we stand. They're coming along and they're going to want to force everybody with a needle here and there, and then they're going to come up with another one and another one and another one. According to their plan, this is not going away. Read Agenda 2020 and Agenda 2030, which is under the umbrella of 2020. They've been planning this for decades, if not thousands of years. It goes way back, and all the technology is here so that they can implement it. Um, all their diabolic, demented plans. Yes, I don't know. There's nothing that I can agree to in what's going on. It's just crazy. But focusing back on the lifestyle, because that's really what we have to do and not give this stuff any energy. Um, I'm going to be consciously focusing more and more on what the solutions are, because that's where we want to move the energy. Steve, how are you doing?
Good.
You're up at around over 100?
104.
104.
104. Crazy.
What's going through the mind?
I don't know. It's time to end. That's for sure.
It's this for now.
I'll end on 108. I already made that. I made that decision yesterday.
Time to let off the gas.
It's time to give the emotions a break.
Yeah, and that's okay, right? That's all.
Yeah.
Right?
But strangely enough, I'm already planning again. My mind's already thinking out because I want to do this again. It's been such a fantastic experience. And this is where I feel the best. I mean, how do you argue that?
The state that you're in. There's nothing that compares at all.
None.
And this is why people without experience get into these states and then they get themselves in trouble, because they just don't know what lies ahead. And there's no rush. This is a lifestyle. We have our whole lives, and you can't rush it if you tried.
No, can't push this.
So, the prudent way is choose the lifestyle that you can handle with your emotions, and every once in a while, put the pedal to the metal, as we say. Push the gas to the floor, and open it up. Let it breathe, and then slow down and just cruise along. This is the way it's done. It's there's no real words that you can describe the state when you're going on a really long level 7 long digestive vacation, as we call it. The whole physiology, the mental and the emotional state, basically we're allowing it to change its processing from matter to the fields, and is why the purge is so aggressive, I guess we can call it.
Physically, it's been aggressive, that's for sure. Oh, emotionally, and emotionally, it's probably even far more than physical.
Yeah, I'm talking about all the levels, and each person will, each man or woman will experience it at different levels. Some people feel the physical really, really strong, but there's always the emotion intertwined with that, right? So, once we understand everything revolves around the fields and the emotions of field, then we start getting more clarity of what's going on, and we can start embracing these moments and allowing these things to take place, so that the body can, the mental and the emotions can move towards balance. And that's all it's all about, allowing ourselves to continuously move towards a balanced state. And
as these ropes were being discharged the last few weeks, I could feel just, how do I say this? I mean, some emotions went with it, but I sank deeper within, I would say. And just at a state of consciousness that's I've never experienced before. Fully aware. Awareness, that's the word, awareness.
Awareness, yeah.
That's the correct word.
Yeah, we become much more aware. That's I guess the correct word we can use. It's it really opens up your awareness. There's nothing that I've found in this matter world that you can add to open up your awareness. People do drugs and stuff like that. I can't see.
It's a temporary state.
Yeah, they're.
I know.
They're not a full soul experience of our own soul. They're if it's a plant, you're taking on a lesson from a plant, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that. If you're doing drugs, there's no soul in drugs. That's complete soulless states, horrific states when you're on that stuff. But anyway, this my 2 cents worth. What do we have here? Avesta was wondering, do you have advice for the days for eating after the fast? The precious times after fast. I want to eat a lot, and also burgers and fries, which I like so now and then, all vegan. Yeah, that's all in the MFS protocol. Just read that over, and we've been posting and talking about it for 5+ years, fruit, anything outside of fruit is more obstructive. Fruit's the least obstructive. Your green leafy veggies are, heavier, more obstructive. And then you go into the heavier vegetables, they're more obstructive, and so on and so on and so on. So you decide which level of obstruction you want to live in love, and that your emotions, you can stay and handle the emotions that come forth. This is what stops 99.99999 people of dwelling into a fasting lifestyle. It's the understanding that they think something physically wrong is going on, when it's all emotional releases. And through the emotional releases, we find our physicality moves towards balance. And so does the emotion, because that's why the physicality moves towards balance. The emotion starts moving towards balance as it's released, and the mental and the physical. It all happens basically simultaneously. So the eating stuff is where I'd say 99.999% of people have the most challenges, not the fasting. The fasting is usually, once people are into the first few days to a week, they're grooving. They're grooving for the most part, and then you have some healing reactions here and there, but it's a much easier state to be in. Once you're in the state, it's smooth sailing, you know. Um, and then when people go back to that first bite, we see lots of challenges, lots of challenges. Some people, it may take a week or two after eating, some maybe a little bit longer, but if we're not ready for the assault of emotions that comes with the eating, we're not going to be happy. We're not going to be happy. So we have to be ready. And how do we get ready? Well, we educate ourselves, exactly what we're doing now. You know, read the protocol, watch videos, join us in live calls, and continuously um, be present in this type of lifestyle. So you know it inside out, upside down. So as you're going through the experiences, you can go back to your memory of whatever somebody said and say, "Oh, I heard somebody say that, and it's okay. Let me just go through this, use the tools, and pull myself through." So it doesn't become as scary. The first time it will be scary, depending on how strong the healing reactions are, but at least you have something backing up from your self-education, from what we're sharing, and and continue and continue and continue and continue with the experiences, and you will see that when it comes around the second time, the third time, fourth time, it gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier and a little bit easier, because you've had that little experience, and then the things corrected themselves, and okay, no big deal, you know. So that's all good. Vesta, yeah, the fasting is easier. I noticed when back to eating is the challenge. Do you have any advice on how to handle that?
Yeah,
I just was talking about that. If
eat clean.
was wondering.
So basically, I would say Avesta. I think it's deleted. Um, I think the best thing is to do. You don't need to do a long master fast. There's no way you can eat burgers and fries after a long full master fast and feel good. I mean, you can seriously, if you do a long fast and then eat that way, you can harm yourself
Yeah,
really badly. So
there's
these
people.
foods, you be ready to let them go. Be ready to let such foods.
What's going on?
Yeah, be ready to let such foods go. Start cleaning up your diet. I mean, if you're not ready to clean up your diet, definitely don't do a long master fast,
Mhm.
right? So do the shorter ones, get better and better and better with food. And you know what? Honestly, you don't need to do a long master fast. You don't. There are many people who are thriving on shorter ones. And
Mhm.
the thing is, you want to be consistent, and you want to keep, you know, you're going to have your ups and downs with the food until you find your balance. But once you find your balance, honestly, the cravings are so much more controlled than when you were eating every day. Um, and and also you will find that you naturally are attracted to lighter food, because when you eat heavy, your body will give you signs that it's not feeling well. You will learn a lot when you incorporate master fast into your lifestyle.
Like there's people who have killed themselves breaking fast incorrectly.
In the
This is
history.
this is known, yeah. And like if you understand what's happening when you go on a long, especially master fast, like it's because it's very very powerful cleaning the physical GI tract. When if you've gone for a long one, let's say 60 plus days, even 40 days is up there. Um, there's a very what happens is the GI tract removes all the mucus coating, not all of it, but for the most part, and you have basically a raw um, plasma vacuum tube, which is the way it's supposed to be, for it to interact with the fields. And the fields don't. It doesn't have to be something that you eat. The fields are all around us. And then you go and put something in the body that's very obstructive. For example, boiled potatoes, pizza, stuff like that. And you put that into that beautiful, fresh, wonderful raw vacuum tube, and you get cement
You know,
happening into that, and you can cause a blockage. And Arnold Layard talked about was it McFadden who had the boiled potatoes
after maybe 100 days or something of
and
fasting.
then it created a blockage, and he passed. I think he went for surgery and he passed.
So
That's
that's like,
another
that's,
bombardment, getting surgery after
yeah.
a long
Um,
fast.
and that's what that was written over 100 years ago. Today, breaking your fast, you can break it really, really badly eating junk. If you go and buy chips breaking a master fast, or I mean, you are really asking for too much. Your body is just gonna scream at you.
We've never suggested
Um,
anybody break
I
their
mean,
fast, except
Joy, you can do many mistakes after
yeah,
a long master fast. You don't want to do that, trust me.
the only way we suggest is what's written in the protocol, how to break the fast, and that's it. If you want to go outside of that, you have free will, and you're responsible to do whatever you like.
Yeah.
If you
So,
want
and that's why,
to.
if you do less than a week, like shorter master fast, and be consistent with that. Yes, sure. If you eat hummus, for example, okay, fruits and then hummus and fruit and vegetables, whatever, right? That's okay. You're gonna feel that, but you're not gonna feel it as bad as when you break 100-day master fast or more, or even 40, even 21 days. Okay, you're gonna feel like crap. Okay, not only that, but also you're going to feel the addiction, right? So it's not like you just did one meal and you feel okay. I'm gonna pass that. I'm gonna wash my colon. No, the next day you're gonna be hungry for that again. So the cravings are gonna be not crazy, insane. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Trust me, you're not gonna feel
If
good.
anybody's
So yeah,
suggesting that, there's people that are out there, I've heard that they can, go without food for a long time and then eat whatever they want, because they're in a different state. I'm telling you, it's all bull crap. They don't tell you about the part, the challenges they have cleaning themselves out. They purposely
yeah.
miss that part. And
We
Alan
have
Tom was one who confided in me, says, "What do you mean you don't feel it?" And he doesn't drink and eat.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand. I mean, with all the master fast that I've done, when I break it and then start eating heavy, I feel it. I feel it
Immediately.
immediately. And then my addictions are, I don't know how people can go back to fasting the day after. I can't. My addictions are too strong for me to go back to fasting the day after. I guess it's a depressing feeling, like you're just so depressed that you don't want to do good anymore. You know? Like you don't want to help your body. You don't like almost you lose respect. You know, like I don't know.
You awaken the demons again.
uh, Andra, how do you cleanse the colon? Well, you're in the group. It's called Master Fast System. Start, reading up on it, watch videos. You can't only clean the colon. We work on cleaning the whole physical, mental, and emotional body, and it's all done simultaneously through a fasting lifestyle, which we call Master Fasting System. Alan, hey Alan, breaking fast with dates, FTW. What does that stand for? For the
when
for the win?
when for the win.
Oh, for the win. Awesome. A lot of you have to be ready to be able to break your fast with dates because they're not a juicy fruit. Like I can do it no problem. Some people they may have challenges with that, so you have to be careful.
Maybe it's a daily dry.
There's Eric I spoke about somebody that broke his fast with dates, and the fermentation was so great. Bye bye, Jack. So you have to understand, the first meals for breaking a fast. The basic easy way to remember is whatever fruit moves you through you the fastest. So most people know which fruits move through them the fastest, and that's the fruit that you should choose to break your fast.
Yeah, but if it's a daily dry, no big deal, right?
No, I'm talking about the longer fast.
Long
In
master
general, yeah.
fast.
I believe my lymph system is starting to move, but checking in with y'all to gauge if I am imagining it. I am getting cracking sensations in my ear as well as popping sensation in all areas where I have lymph nodes. Yeah, these are just energy moving things. Yeah, that's indicative of the move starting to move, right? Yeah, assuming is what happens next. As long as you're on the path of living and loving it in a fasting lifestyle, yeah. If you're eating, no, you're plugging yourself out. So assuming is what happens next. I feel I'm going through exciting times on manifest journey. Something miraculous happens a couple of times a week. Excellent. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Eating vegetables and fruit. For example, I may have a salad of romaine, kiwi apple, for example, then steamed narrow kale, black kale with spinach, pak, bok choy, and only starch in the form of sweet potato every now and then. Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. You're basically on a very uh, obstructive, lean diet, and along with the fasting, and just continue and continue and continue and continue. So
It's best to eat the fruits first and then the vegetables, just to avoid fermentation. And also, when we eat fruits, it's best to eat one type of fruit for easier digestion, less fermentation.
yeah,
I like one type of fruit only when I break my fast. Even the apples, I like only one type of apple. I don't like to mix. I don't know. I feel like something wrong happens when I mix.
the easiest way to the most efficient way is to digest mono eating one type of food. That's the easiest.
Yeah. Vegetables are easier to digest, of course, when mixed. I mean, not easier than fruits, but I mean, when they're mixed, than fruits. Fruits are just, when fruit salad, I don't know, I feel like it's a mess. But vegetables, of course, a salad, it's not sweet. So it's
I
for
don't
less
think so. I
fermentation.
think the same applies.
What do you mean? No.
The less ingredients, the more efficient the digestion, even vegetables.
No, when you eat a raw food diet, it's very known that we eat one type of fruit a meal, mono fruit meals, and then a salad. And the salad is a salad. It's a salad, vegetable salad.
If you blend it, it's easier on the system because it comes homogenized.
You mean
But,
the salad?
Yeah, any greens.
Yeah, but I'm talking about fruit salad versus a vegetable salad. You don't compare them. No way. I wouldn't eat. I don't touch fruit salad.
Fruit is,
There's
yeah,
no
but
way.
fruit is much easier to digest than vegetables.
Fermentation, though. You're mixing too many fruits.
I don't see it like that.
I don't touch.
It's always easier to
It's
be
a rule when you eat
mono.
raw food. When I eat raw food, this is a rule that you have to follow.
I can't see a fruit salad being harder to digest than a vegetable salad. I can't see that. It's not possible in my experience.
Okay, well, that's how I learned raw food.
Fruits are way less obstructive than vegetables generally.
I'm not saying about the obstructiveness. I'm saying about the fermentation, the ease of digestion in terms of mixing. Food combining is very important. Basically, you're saying it's not important. I say it's very important.
Everybody can do whatever they like. I'm just saying what I know from my experience. Dorina, you had your hand up.
That's why we have it in the protocol, food combining.
Vesta, do you recommend probiotics? Vesta, you start doing some reading. These questions have been asked so many times. These calls are for people living and loving it, not for basic questions that are mostly answered in the Facebook group and the frequently asked questions in the protocol. We don't add any of this stuff. They only cause imbalances. Alan, yeah, but the after mentioned salad feels like a treat, and it's concocted with food combining in mind, sweet fruit and subacid with vegetables. Yeah, there we have there's the food combining charts that have been out for a long time. It started, I think, with the natural hygiene movement, which goes back over 100 years. And you can find a lot of food combining charts and fruit combining charts that you can follow the basic rules. And it's basically shows you how you can mix foods to be easier digested for the body. So, like fruit in general, if you mix sweet fruit with acid fruits, it's not good. If you want to mix sweet fruit with sweet fruits, it's okay. If you want to mix sweet fruit with subacid fruits, it's a little bit okay. So it gives you those general guidelines, and then it talks about greens and so on and so forth, and which fruits you can mix with greens. For example, like lemon, people put lemons in their salad or orange juice or whatever. They go okay because you're following the basic principles of what seems to be able to digest and process together. But if we stick to mono eating, always, 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 you will find your digestion will be quicker, more efficient, and it'll drain less energy from you because digestion does take energy.
Yeah, but
Does
most
not
people who eat
give you energy.
most people who eat don't want to eat mono fruit or mono meals because it's kind of boring, right?
Yeah, very few people do
The
monofruit eating.
experience is more like eating cleaner, but like almost regular.
Mono eating. I know one person who's done mono eating for many, many years, and all these years. There's a few other people who dabbled it in here and there, but I mean, seriously, mono eating meaning she only ate one fruit per season. Talk about mono eating.
Wow,
That's mono eating.
that's deep.
Yeah. That was Susan Redetta. She was in our group. I don't know if she's still around. She was living in Bali. Then she moved to New Zealand.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
good fruit.
she was doing, I can't remember now if it was 10
10
days
days.
eating and 20 days coconut
Water
water
fast.
fast per week, per month, or the other way around. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's how she was living
Yeah.
for years.
And when
Since
she ate,
she started when she was 15 or 16 with Arnold Herod, 2 years transition, then went into fruit eating. And then when she would eat, it would only be the one fruit in season that she loved.
at least that's when we met her. That was over 40 years on a fruitarian diet.
This is,
So that we met her on Facebook. We didn't meet her.
yeah, the first
person,
year of
though.
Master Fast. And then, she learned about dry fasting. She goes, I didn't know I didn't have to drink. I'm feeling great. So she was moving. The last time I had a chat with her, and she was doing awesome. She was on a long dry fast. So that's the only person that I know that was on a serious mono fruitarian eating lifestyle with fasting.
It would be 10 days a month of eating, and the eating would be one meal a day, and the fruit would be one fruit a season. From what I remember, like from her backyard, and she said when the fruit drops, it's like the universe is giving her the gift, So that's what she would eat.
She had 5 children. No period. Sorry, no period. Menstruating. Yes, no periods.
She got
All
pregnant
breastfed.
with no
All very healthy children.
bleeding.
And for all the people that continuously say it's not possible, it is. There's somebody, two other women that got pregnant without menstruation, without the periods
Bleeding.
in Master
Bleeding.
Fast.
Not period.
Oh, period. Sorry.
Bleeding.
Your women will always menstruate even if they're not bleeding. So
They will all ovulate. Always ovulate.
Ovulate.
Yeah.
That's the correct terminology. That's what I never have that right, but anyway.
Yeah. So no.
You know what I mean?
So when your body is like bleeding is a form of releasing, right? And when the body doesn't need to release, you don't need to bleed no more at some point. Or when your body is at a state where it's like much cleaner, you'll find that your bleeding is much less and much lighter, and no pains. If you ever used to have pains, it would just come and go. You would just feel something wet and you go to the bathroom and you see some blood, which is absolutely amazing, and even more amazing not to bleed in the first place. For many women, I'm sure this is like they would love that, especially the ones who have pain. My goodness, some people used to have so much pain. Like, my sisters, for example, I used to have so much pain. I used to take medicine every month, but my younger sisters had even more pain. And yeah, it's as soon as they started,
Women, you can be pain free.
as soon as they started raw vegan, I stopped taking the medication, of course, once a month for the pain, and the bleeding was just much. It was flowing, like it was lots of blood, but like you don't feel it nearly as much. There's no pain, and I totally believe that when we are obstructed in our digestive system, the menstruation will be much more painful. And when things are clearer in our GI tract, there is pretty much no pain, or the pain will start clearing and clearing, less and less and less. It has to do with so much inflammation in the area. All the back pain, also when I used to have my period, my bleeding. My goodness, the back pain. I'm sure many women can relate. Now, what is back pain? It's the kidneys, and the back pain happens when the GI tract is blocked. You clear the GI tract, you don't have the back pain no more. Your kidneys are much happier, right? So you don't have the pain and the inflammation. It's just so beautiful. Everything started making more sense when I started doing the master fast, and so many women, started sharing their experience with menstruation, and we all basically had very similar experiences. Of course, everybody has different challenges. Some have more challenges than others in the reproductive area, and it's just now we all reported much less inflammation and much more easy menstruation.
Hello, Carlo. Ellen, what's your experience of the energy during the current full moon? I was feeling intense energy in my fast, ended early as I wasn't feeling good. Yeah, full moons, you're going to have, there's a stronger pulling energy, and some people cannot handle doing their fasts on the moon cycles. So if it's a bit intense for you, go to one of the lower levels of the dry fast that we have, semi dries and so on, or move it to a different date. But if you can pull through, you know, using all the techniques and stuff we suggest, make sure you're brushing your skin twice a day at least, using the burnt stick on all your acupressure points and kidneys. These things will help you tremendously. Smelling essential oils, walking barefoot in nature, hugging trees, going out for a walk in nature generally, and there's so many things you can do. Also, you can do cold water dips, and I found those absolutely amazing when you're in a long dry fast. It's just incredible feeling to go and dive in cold water. Um, yeah, I read a post in one of Wim Hof's thing. Somebody said he was doing the Wim Hof religiously every single day for about a year, and he didn't get any improvements in the cold from his feet and hands. And he was asking people about that, and he also said that the last few weeks he stopped doing it 7 days a week and only did it like 3 days a week, and he found that um, his uh, his tolerance to cold decreased if he didn't do it every single day. So I'm bringing that up because I can't shut that off. It's on another page. Sorry, guys. I don't know who's calling. Um, I'm bringing that up because people are always looking to stimulate their way into balance, and it never, ever, ever is going to bring you to balance. Um, these tools are wonderful tools that we can use, but I don't see them as tools that are going to bring you to balance. You're putting the body through fight or flight modes, which in nature they happen and are healthy. But how often is healthy? If you put yourself in a fight or flight mode every single day, could it happen in nature? Maybe if you're living in a jungle, I guess. I don't know, it could happen. But it's a lot of stress on the body. And the body, what happens when we put the body in stress? Well, it's going to have to adapt and do things so that it could survive. The body, number one program is to survive, not to keep you healthy. It will put you in a coma if it has to survive. So you have to ask yourself, what do I need to do to make myself healthy if it's not in the program of the body? Well, that's simple. Do no thing, and your body will be healthy. There's nothing you have to do. Keep it simple. Clean it out, and it restores itself into a healthy, balanced state. There's no thing you have to do. Just dive deep into the abyss of your soul. Allow the soul to go into that autopilot mode, and voila, the magic automatically happens. I'm trying to keep track of the Facebook here. Corey, Carrie. Master Fast is a great experience. Lost 20 pounds in 4 months or less. I thought I was in good shape at the time, but now almost a new man. Been over a year now. I only eat one meal a day or not. Food is for fun. Who would believe you don't need to drink water? Would have never believed it, but I am a believer. To you both. Love to you both. Thank you so much, Carrie. Always nice to hear from you. So, guys, gals, the floor is yours. I'm talking too much. Stephanie,
Hi.
is this the first time? Or no, you've been on before, I think.
No, I was on a few years ago. It's been a couple of years. I usually watch on YouTube.
How's it going?
It's going. It's a full moon. That's all I can say.
Yeah, lots of strange things will happening tonight, I can assure you. People are out there howling.
Yeah, we're all feeling it.
Yeah, just hang in and allow that energy to flow, and all is well. All is well. Doreen, you had a question earlier. Maybe we answered it. All right. Tatiana, you want to share about what's happening with that ankle? If you're still there.
I'm here. Yeah, it's pretty much calmed down. I just I mean, you always said it. We just have to wash it out. And I was thinking too hard. I was, oh, let me do this tool, and I need this tool. But it really, and you know what? It's like it lets me know how I'm doing. Like if I'm not washing enough, it'll swell up a bit. Or if yeah, this past week I had to look at myself. Usually I don't wear like glasses, but I put them on and I looked at myself and I let like fear a little bit get in a little bit. And so I mean I wrote about this. I combined like a few days of eating, like from my 1 week and the other week. So I did like 6 days in a row of eating. I wasn't eating obstructive. But still it was it felt like too much, and you know by the 6th day I was eating too much, and then I was swollen up like a balloon the next day. The body just lets you know, and
Yeah, especially after a long digestive vacation.
yeah, I'm so glad to be back on Masterful.
It's the body's is opened up its awareness and being able to convey the message of what's happening with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Very clearly. If we listen, the message is there of what certain foods especially do to the physicality. When you're, many decades eating in that way in a numbed out state, the body is forced to adapt to that. So it doesn't respond anymore. It shuts everything off. It shuts off all the responses, all the what's the word I'm looking for?
Triggers.
Sorry?
Triggers.
Triggers, yeah, all the triggers and feelings, and these are all responses that we have built in to protect us. But years of obstructing, they shut off. They completely shut off for the most part until something really extreme happens, and then you feel it.
Yeah.
And when you've cleared up the GI tract, you're going to be able to sense sensations. You're going to be able to sense these things very, very easily and very precisely with every little thing you put inside your body. And if you keep it in that state, you will know exactly which foods cause you the most challenges. And you may choose to stay away from them, or you may choose to experience. Choice is always yours. Right? Choice is always yours. And so, yeah, good lessons to learn. Um, you know, when way back when I started and I started having all these things happen through eating, I had nobody to turn to. I just figured that has to be body has to be telling me something. So I will have to continue and see what happens. And I just kept doing it over and over and over, and finding the different foods, and I just did it the hard way to find out which ones were giving me the least problems. And as I've shared before, the I made it to like as a religion to continue my season change fasts for many, 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 many years. I did that. I always focused on the season change, no matter how clean and raw I ate. After a few months, the body's going, okay, you need a break. And I listened to it. So I made it a religion to fast every season change. And I don't know why I picked season changes, but it just felt right. And I continue to do that. And that's why, since master fasting and dry fasting, we focus on doing our long dry fasts on the season changes, right? And for the monthly ones, choose the full moon if you like. You don't have to choose the full moon, but do the 3 days per month, sometime in the month, and then when your season change comes, do it at the season change, because the energy of the season change is way stronger than the moon cycles. It only happens 4 times a year, where the moon cycles happens, once a month. We have daily cycles, we have weekly cycles, we have monthly cycles, quarterly cycles, we have yearly cycles. Then we have, I don't know what the next cycle is, but there's a 9-year cycle that the physicality has. There may be stuff in between as well, that we're dealing with all the time. And we learn to work with these things. Carrie, be the example you want to see. Exactly. Always focus on what you want to see on the planet, and live it and love it, and it will happen. So away we go. Everybody's quiet today.
I had this thought that all this mucoid plaque, how mysteriously where it comes from. I mean, it comes from like decades of nonstop eating, but I also think it's emotions.
Of course.
I think.
Of course. That's why what do we say? Your first line of defense, no matter what, emotions, physical, healing, NMA.
Yeah. But part of me thinks like that's the physical. You're seeing the emotion.
Even if you see clear water coming out, it'll help your emotions.
Yeah.
Because energy fields can what's the word? Can attach themselves to matter, right? Which includes water. What do we do with GANs? We drink only the water. We don't drink the material. So the energy is getting infused in the water. So, yeah. You're washing. Best way to cleanse your aura is take a shower, jump in a body of water, instantly washes the aura. You
Right.
feel always better after a shower, bath, or going swimming. It washes the aura.
Yeah.
Grounds you. If you have copper pipe, it grounds you in your home.
I was thinking, what if, the organs actually are meant to process emotions, and so we eat to like, so they don't process, right? So we stop the processing, to numb, to numb, so that we don't feel the emotion. And then I was looking at in Chinese medicine, each organ is tied to an emotion, and the kidneys are fear, which is very telling for where we are as
Yeah.
people, and me personally too. And I thought about, where's that? Where did I not process that? Because I mean, that area definitely needs work. So that's like come to the kind of forefront. It's infinite lessons with the
Stops.
system.
There, we're continuously learning.
Yeah.
The emotions, as we say, is seed, intent and emotion. The thought comes first from the soul. Then we put the intent and emotion to allow it to be manifested in this matter realm, or in any other realm. It all works the same. It doesn't have to be a material manifestation. It can manifest planets or stars, galaxies, I don't know, whatever you like. Infinite things that we can do out there in the limitless realms. But emotions play a big part in people. And as we've said, most people would rather feel physical pain than go through the emotions. It's easier to handle for people to feel physical pain than the emotional, because the emotions could go back many, many, many generations from our ancestral that we are all carrying. If we talked about briefly last call about that post I made about the why families are not getting along together and so things. And so read people's posts. There's havoc in everybody's homes, abuse, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And more and more so, people are not getting along anymore. Divorces are all-time high. Um, everything's about divide and conquer in every which way. Since they really went after the family unit with women's lib in the 70s, I think it was, they started. They knew what to attack and to control the masses, attack the family unit.
Yeah, but
put everybody against each other.
We take full responsibility.
Of course.
I mean, come on.
Of course.
Nobody should be able to break your home or divide you and your wife.
Well,
or stop you from seeing your family, your mom and dad, and your siblings, because
what's Hollywood
you're not
promoting?
getting
Easy to do in the United States because we were never a homogenous society. So it's very easy for them to implement their agendas.
What does Hollywood promote?
Yeah, but who cares about Hollywood? Come on.
It's people are watching TV.
Part of the programming. It's all part of the programming.
Programming.
I understand,
Soap
but
operas.
no stupid are we? Come on.
But it also becomes generational. It's not an event. This is not an event what's going on. It's a process that's been going on for hundreds and thousands of years.
Yeah, it's in every religion that the majority of humanity is distracted from the truth.
Yes. But I'm saying in the United States particularly, it's been very simple to implement because we are not, especially today, we are not a homogenous society. We're not one people.
Exactly. And it's easier that way.
Simple. It was very simple.
In Canada, we have like 70 plus different cultures. Nobody sticks together because I'm Italian, I'm French, I'm Arabic, I'm this and that. Nobody says they're Canadian here. In the US, it's people, I don't know how it is there.
They used to integrate, at least You know,
No,
back in the late 1800s, when we had the big immigration here, they would they would integrate into the society, and so they were still separate, but it was more integrated. Today, there's no integration whatsoever. Period.
yeah, and in the States, come on, there are generations there. Here, I came from Saudi Arabia. I was 17. So my first country is not this one. My first language is not this one.
I understand that.
It's
Was not my point.
Yeah, I know, but he's saying it's very different. You can't say, of course, in the States, the majority will say I'm American because the generations there. Not here. Here it's not the same. Here your parents came. Here I came. You know, many people that you meet on the street, they came or their parents came. It's not like the States. So they're maybe more integrated. And in fact, actually, yeah, Canada is way more multicultural, I would say, than the States.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I would say it's much more, multicultural. And
Toronto
it's
specifically.
for that reason, there is more tolerance towards because you're exposed to different people, different religions, different everything. The kids go to school together, speaking whatever their parents speak different languages. So somehow they get used to each other. They integrate, and they don't judge so much. I feel, which is great. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but
It's interesting what's happening. Alan, have you been in situations where you were detoxing too fast as you were aware you were stirred up too many acids? I let go of the chemistry thing as far as healing is concerned. It's a man-made fallacy. We look at imbalance and balance because that's all the body sees. Detoxing too fast. Um, Even the word detoxing, obstructing
Yeah.
much more.
I was purging too fast last year
Purging.
at one point. Absolutely.
if you increase
Yeah,
the dry, there's no question you're going to detox more. It might be too much sometimes, for sure.
It all depends on your level of experience and how conscious you are when you're going through this of what's going on. So for someone who's been on the path a while, okay, pedal to the metal. I'm ready. Because you understand what's going on and you're embracing it, and it's okay. For newbies, generally, it's going to be too fast, too fast.
And for
And
movies, you say
the emotional thing is the biggest challenge, as we've been discussing.
after doing 2 years of full master fast, like full master fast days, we say, okay, go ahead, experiment with increasing your dry, whatever, reducing your juice,
After 2 years of living it and loving it.
No, two
Not
years
eating.
of full master fast.
Yeah.
2 years of full master fast days. So it can take you 4 or 5 years to complete that, whatever, but you want to have 2 years of full master fast experience under your belt, I would say, before you start playing with it. And then you can experiment.
Slowly open up, allow.
When I find when many of us have done long master fast, we started playing with it and it's just too much. We don't realize.
Well, everybody knows better, because
I have done
they've
mistakes
done
many
a few
times.
weeks, a few months, and they know better.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. I just continue to learn. Lately, before the sauna, I was using a pulse massager device on various spots, particularly thighs, or have edema near lymph nodes. Yeah, these are very strong vibrators, right? You burn stick, simple, works. Then during and after sauna, legs felt as if they were on fire. Yeah, because you're stimulating very strongly with these devices. My conclusion was the vibration device was stirring up too much acid and I was interfering too much with the body. I don't think that device is stirring up acids. It's stimulating. There's a difference.
Like
There's a
moving,
difference. The only thing that can move out obstructions is a fasting state. Only your body can do that. And the challenge with modern day man and woman is we are so obstructed with so many foreign materials that are not found in nature. The body gets in its energies to purge blocked, and it can't purge. And that's where people get in trouble. And we refer to it as drowning in your own filth. We've had one too many people go to those places because they're not following the protocol, not drinking enough, not washing enough, not enough herbal support, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because they know better. And then they get themselves in trouble and they come crying for help. There's
So
not
that-
much you can do in those situations. Those situations are a dangerous place to put yourself in. And you can actually seriously damage or kill yourself when you put yourself in those situations.
So both the sauna and the massage
Yeah,
will
there's
help you move.
stimulants.
It's like an exercise, right? You're
There's
moving stuff.
stimulants.
But if your kidneys are blocked,
Anything outside of this state, no food and no water, no nothing, is a stimulant. Anything we bring in, even when we're doing the herbs to some degree, are a form of a stimulant, but they are in such highly elevated souls, they have a purpose to help and assist us. Whereas all these man-made things are in a whole different category. So there's two different things. The plasma pudding, as it's going through us, the body's got to work to move that through itself, right? It's not digested as it goes into the stomach, and it doesn't take you out of the fasting state.
so it's not a stimulant.
So the body's it's absolutely amazing that we have these products that we can take in and assist us, and help it absorb and massage the GI tract as it's going through in the colon.
So you're saying it's not a stimulant.
They're all forms of stimulants, but they're not strong stimulants. And they keep us in a fasting state, and we can use them. These things that you're using, the sauna and so on and so, yeah, you can use these things, but just don't overdo them, especially when you're fasting or in a dry fasting state. You got to be careful. You got to be really careful. Be prudent in all things. All these tools, be prudent. The
That's
herbs,
why you
the
say-
tinctures, I can't see you taking too much, but any more than 20 different formulas, I honestly don't see the need for that. The Last Supper 12 is a lot of support. I put people on up to 16, 18, I think was the most. Some people want to do more, that's fine, but that's a lot of support. And I haven't seen anybody really need any more than much more than the Last Supper 12. Unless somebody's been on drugs for a very, very long time, butchered up like crazy, so on and so forth. Those are the people that I see benefit from having more herbal support. Avesta, thanks. Seems I'm not the only one with the challenge of eating again. No, absolutely not. After a fast, and indeed is what you're experiencing. It's learning eating again and feeling, which is handled better by the body. And also we have to learn that the body needs less food. Sometimes people still think from old paradigm. I think most people do. 2/3 meal a day, 2-3 meals a day, but one maximum 2 light meals a day are more than enough when eating. Have you read the protocol of ESTA? I don't know. It's a lot of this information is very clearly in there. It doesn't sound like if you've read it. Alan, the sauna also cleanse auras? The sauna cleanse auras. I don't know. We'd have to.
I think it's the fields, right? Once you clear up your fields, it clear up your GI tract.
I'm
It
sure.
allows the field
I'm
interaction
sure it can
better.
help. I have what's called the Cameron Aurameter. Do I have it here? I don't know if anybody's seen these. I think I've showed it before. I haven't used it in a while. These things are very, very sensitive dowsing instrument. And I don't know if I can do it so you can see. You can sense the fields of auras, the boundaries, and so on and so forth. And as you move towards, you'll see this bob back. We were doing a lot of experiments with this. It's very sensitive, very accurate. Somebody who masters using this can go through all your chakras, see which one needs help and so on. It's very powerful. You can read about these Cameron Aura meter. I bought this many years ago. Don't buy the imitations. I bought an imitation one. I ended up sending it back. Nothing like the original one. It's a very, very beautiful device. We were doing a lot of tests on water and frequencies. We were doing with 432 tone and so on and so forth. And we did some amazing things with water. We were able to get auras of water from nothing out to, if I remember correctly, over 60 feet. It was amazing the things we were doing. But you can have your aura checked by somebody with one of these, front, back, sides, and then do a sauna and then check it again. You can check the aura of dead juice. Put your intent and emotion into it. Hold it and put your intent and emotion to it. Some beautiful stuff. And then check the aura of the juice after. There's many, many, many things you can do with this tool. You can have fun with it. You know, when people in lockdown, you have nothing to do. Play with your aura meter. So yeah, many things. You can check the aura of plants. You know, if you're adding different nutrients or things, your fertilizer kind of things, and you want to see, you can use it for that, Steve. It takes a while to get used to it, but it works on your intent and emotion. It really does. It's an extension of your nervous system. Once you learn how to use it, that's all it is. That's all these tools are. Even people use pendulums and stuff. It's just an extension of your nervous system. People don't believe it. There's, I can't remember his name. There's an American dowser. Guy's 100% accurate. 100%. I don't know how much better you can get than that. So, yeah. Was everybody going to be 100%? No, it takes a lot of practice, a lot of understanding, and a lot of faith and trust in yourself using these instruments. And just not anybody's going to be able to pick one up and be accurate with it. No, you have to practice with it, just like anything else. Jonathan, hey, what I'm finding is Healy is in where the nervous system is suppressed. It's seemingly a powerful tool. Have had some major shifts. I'm not clear what you're saying.
Healy?
Yeah, read protocol many times. Okay. Awesome. Everything's connected. We are not separate. Oh, for sure. I posted the Greg Braden video yesterday, the day before. He talks about how they found that everything's connected scientifically. And he goes into the details of it and how intent and emotion is creation. It's beautiful. Like, you know, when you start seeing alternative scientists looking into the spirit world and connecting the two, because you can't separate it. Where mainstream science separates spirituality, they don't believe in any of that. So that's why I distance myself from mainstream science. It's not based on God's laws. It's, to me, it's caca. If you don't base it on creation, creator, I don't want nothing to do with it. And I fell into that trap and got myself in trouble. That's the Luciferic intellect God with the small g. I don't deal with that stuff. I've got myself in trouble, and I have a better understanding myself of working with the principles and of the universe and creator, and stick with that. And you're not going to fail ever when you put your trust and faith in that. Look what's happening with people massive fasting. This is what we're working with. Whether people believe it or not doesn't matter, because that's what we're working with. That's the intent and emotion of what master fasting is, and that's all we will continue to do. So if not, we will shut down the page, because that's the only thing we can do. Barbara, I cannot interact tonight, but I want you to. I'm here and love you and have deep appreciation. Thanks so much, Barbara, for joining us. Much plaf, always. So yeah,
Anyone else wants to share?
it's we've just scratched the surface of this new understanding. We've literally just scratched the surface with the stuff that the KESS Spaceship Institute is starting to bring out and so on and so forth. We're going to see a lot of interesting things over the next few years. A lot of interesting things
Can't wait.
with the what's with the operation basically of creator and soul. Soul is creator. We are all creators of our physical body, because we are in the image of creator, so we can't be different from the creator. We are the same. We can create just like the creator. Do we have limits? Maybe, maybe not. We can't verify that exclusively. So I'm going to say that there are no limits as far as I understand, but we don't know for certain. Any kiddies coming for trick or treats? I think they closed.
The lights all shut off.
I think they closed it down here. That they weren't allowing the people, but there's going to be a bunch of people doing it
I
anyway.
don't think they're doing it this year.
Yeah,
They
we're
were
going out.
discouraging it. I don't know if they shut it down. It was being highly discouraged.
Yeah, well, the whole thing about children getting all that junk food doesn't appeal to me. If you're going to share, maybe share them a master fast protocol membership or some fruit or something, something that's going to wake them up and
Yeah.
put into them.
Yeah, for many years already, I couldn't make myself to do that, to give kids candy.
Yeah.
What do I give them? An apple? They'll hate that. So I just
Yeah. Yeah. I refuse
I
to.
steal my daughter's
Like
Reese's
Play-Doh
peanut
and
butter
stuff.
cups all the time.
It's a lot of belief systems. A lot of belief systems. What is Halloween? Does anybody know what Halloween is?
Pagan ritual.
something dark.
Yeah. Nothing good about it.
Yeah.
No.
But
I
we
was felt weird about it. Yeah.
yeah. Same as Thanksgiving. It's a massacre. Great
Yeah.
massacre of Thanksgiving. And we celebrate it with more killing. We kill the turkey. Interesting. Humans are very interesting. We humans, the way we make sense of things, give justification to things. I don't know. It's interesting.
And that's programming, I would say. Something like Thanksgiving, I would say that's programming. Because
Thanksgiving,
kids are born into it. Okay, we get together at
Christmas.
that time, and they have no clue. Like you don't need to know why. You're just getting together with your family. Yeah.
All the holidays, pretty much. Christmas, Easter,
If it's for religious purposes, I understand, but if it's not, and it's not most of the time,
well, they were
really most of the time it's not. I mean, there are so many non-religious Christians who are celebrating Christmas, and it doesn't make sense to me. If you're religious, celebrate. If you're not, you can get with your family any other day. It's just my opinion.
well,
And
there are national holidays in some countries, and it's a time for excuse for people to celebrate.
Yeah, and same thing with like you know, same thing in Islam. Some Muslims here, they're not fasting and they want to celebrate after Ramadan. I mean, what's it? You know, it doesn't make sense to me. But the majority don't do that, anyways. But like here, for example, my sisters want to celebrate after Ramadan more than I do, and I was the one fasting. And I actually said, I don't want to come. I don't want to get together with you this year. Huh? I said, I don't want to get together with you guys. And they were like, that's not nice, you know? And basically they turned the table that I'm the bad guy. But I was like, you know, like, yeah, it was pretty bad. They don't fast, they don't care to pray. And I was fasting, and I was thinking I want to celebrate it with a Muslim who fasted, you know, the whole month. But like my aunt, I have an aunt here. And I said I want to go visit her, and they were very upset. But yeah, but I totally, and yeah, I totally believe the same thing for Christians and any kind of religion. If you're not praying, what's the point? What's the point? Let's be realistic, you know, like, come on. Otherwise, it's programming. If you're just getting together with your family because of it's Christmas time.
No, national holidays. People time to get together. Nothing wrong with
Okay,
people
then
socializing,
happy
families getting
holidays.
together. It's good.
Not Merry Christmas. Right? Then you say happy holidays, not Merry Christmas. Maybe I'm an extremist. I don't know.
People can do whatever they like and live and let live, and away we go.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But please, let's not judge religions. How about that? Because worldwide, religions are being judged. Seriously.
Everything's
being
being judged,
judged.
not only in religions.
And they're blaming it for the destruction. Excuse me, you're the one who's programmed and celebrating something that you don't believe in. But if somebody cares about the religion and celebrating, you know, whatever that day, specific day, it's an important day for them. That makes sense to me. Yeah, live and let live. No problem. Just live a truthful way. How about that?
Doing the right thing is not common.
No.
Those days are long gone. Hopefully, humanity has a look and moves back towards that, because the only thing that's going to wake us up as a human race now is the light. It's not going to be done as the physical, as we've been discussing. They've been trying for how long through the physical? It's just more wars and more killing and more slavery and destruction. That's all it's brought. So we got to work through the fields. The fields is how matter is created. Let's create what we want to see through the fields, so it can be manifested here in matter state. Very simple concept and basic principle of creation that anybody can do. There was a post I read. I can't remember who posted it. They told a story about a young child, very young, like 11 years old or something, if that. And he was diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor, and he had so much to live. So what this young child did was, every night he would go to bed and he would practice imagining a laser beam targeting the tumor in his head, and clearing it up. And he did this for a while. I don't remember how long. And then one night he went to bed and he went to do that and he didn't see the tumor. So the next morning he woke up and he told his father, Dad, I don't see the tumor anymore. He goes, what do you mean? Are you sure? Are you sure? You got to find it. He goes, try again tonight. So the little boy went to bed again and he went to look for the tumor and he didn't see the tumor. He woke up the next day and told his dad, Dad, no, I don't see the tumor. I can't find it. So they went to the doctor and they did their tests and there was absolutely no tumor. And the doctor was absolutely in a state of shock saying that the tumor is gone, but it looks like a laser burned it. So for those who don't believe in the power of intent and emotion, don't believe in it because it won't happen for you. But when you trust in your soul, everything's possible. Like that's amazing, right? I should have copied and pasted.
Okay, well, I'll do that.
Let me see. Let me see.
You want to know the other one?
Let me see. No, let me check.
That was amazing, reading that story. We should have more details of names and stuff. It doesn't matter. The principle of what happened there is very easy. Put all your intention.
Childlike faith.
Oh, wait. Let me check that one.
Yeah, child, pure faith.
Very difficult for the adult to get into that state.
If you,
Once doubt sets in, everything's off the table.
yeah, if you bring up children like that, can you imagine? The possibilities are endless. Endless.
Then you'd see evolution.
There, I don't know if you guys ever heard, I don't know if it was in the Anastasia books. I think it was in the Anastasia books about children disarming nuclear warheads through the fields. They sent in little bugs and stuff to eat it all up and destroy them. I don't know if you guys ever read I think it was Anastasia books. I read them many, many years ago when they came out. Yeah, interesting stuff. So this stuff is not new, but working in the fields. And what's happening now, it's a cinch to take over the Luciferic agenda. It's a cinch if people would just have the trust and faith in their soul. Focus on the light. That's all it takes. That simple. Don't buy into any other crap. Don't feed it. I went to discuss an interesting experience. A friend of mine went to see this Chinese healer a few months ago, and he goes, "Oh, you gotta go see this guy. You gotta go see this guy. Unbelievable. You gotta go see this guy." So I booked 2-month waiting, and I booked for Ran and I. We went to see this guy. Electrifying experience, I can assure you. He's a Sifu Kung Fu master and healer, Chinese traditional medicine. So this guy's got like a lineup of people every day that he processes. He has 2 people going at once.
Jeez.
Anywhere from 15 minutes to half an hour per person. I go in, and he goes, "Why are you here?" I go, "So my friend said I should come and see you." Specifically, because I was asking, "Can I take my mother?" My friend says, "Well, you go first," because he goes, "You have to decide if you can bring your mother." So I go, told him the story. He goes, "Interesting." He goes, "What do you do?" Well, I go, I guide people fasting. Oh, very good, very good. And so I lie down, and he puts those, what are those, muxin things, those things that you burn? What do they call those Chinese things you put on acupressure points?
I don't know. I had it done once.
Anyway, they put them on acupressure points and they burn them. Because I said, my kidneys could use a little bit of help today. I asked them, I go, "What do you do to protect yourself energetically from all these people that you see every single day. He goes, every morning, 4 hours meditate to recharge.
Wow.
Interesting. Anyway, so he starts his session. He says, okay, just focus on these points, take everything in through this point here and let it out. I had two of them on the inner points of my bottom shins burning. He says, and let them out through there. And then one on my forehead here, let them out there. So I'm doing that, put some music on, doing the breath work. Then he came back after some time, I don't know how long, 15, 20 minutes. And he goes, okay, watch my hands, he goes, and focus on the energy. I want you to focus on the energy. And he's doing his breath work with his mask on. I didn't have no mask. And he's just going really intensely, and I could feel this energy. Then he puts it on the body, and electricity is coming through his hands into my body. High voltage, extremely high voltage. And he ends it on the arm out of the right finger. An extremely strong shock. And he goes, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. Bang. It's like a lightning bolt came out of my baby finger. I can't explain how many volts it was. 30, 40, 50,000 volts. I don't know. It was a lot of electricity. Then he goes, you ready? The next side. Did the other side, and bang, let it go, and bang. And it was like, holy jeez. What's possible? Guys, if somebody can harness that plath and bring it into matter state and through electricity like that, everything's possible. Like, it's, you know, I don't know if anybody, you guys ever heard of anything like this, but it's the guys, that's why the guy's booked. And many people feel benefit and keep going to see him because they're not responsible for their own health, right? You have no major, any major health issues. Just believe in yourself, and thank you very much.
Go.
But Gina, how did you feel the after? Shift after?
I didn't feel any noticeable changes, dramatic changes myself, but apparently a lot of people do. Like I said, people are not taking responsibilities for their health. I just went because the suggestion my friend to go before I bring my mother. So I don't know. I'm thinking about, I don't know if my mother can handle that, but I think I may book her.
Yeah.
And go for another session and ask him some more questions. Because it's just, the guy's lots of wisdom. That's decades and decades of being a master to be able to do something like that. That doesn't happen in a few years.
Yeah.
Asked him, where'd you learn? He goes back home with my family. The whole family's involved in this. Yeah, understand. So, you know, Rana can tell you her experience.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Same thing. It started with my belly started. And I was like, I feel something. And that was just the beginning, huh? Then he started moving it. He goes from, I don't know, from here, and then, anyways, he ends with the pinky finger. He goes throughout the whole one side, and then gets it out through the pinky finger. And
The sexual finger.
It's very, very intense. It's really intense that for this hand, I remember I had to pull it to stop. I had to pull it. It was very intense electricity.
You don't want to let go.
No, I think, you know.
I was just breathing in.
You know, I can take pain. I can take pain. No question. I know myself. I can take pain, especially if it's temporary. It's not like you're, you know, it's like jumping in cold water. It's not like it's not going to be there for hours, you know. It's just a temporary pain. But I don't know. It's my first time, right? So there was a little bit of fear for sure because you have to trust that person. You know nothing about. Actually, he asked me, "Why are you here?" I said, "I don't know. I don't know." My husband brought me here. He's like, "Oh, so he wanted you to come here. You didn't want to get me here." I was like, no, I think it's our friend. He told him that you're very good, uh, and then you know, then he was like, "What do you do?" I said, "I'm a colon hydrotherapist." Like, "Oh, I want to send my clients to you," something like that. Anyways, and I told him that he's involved in fasting, and that's how we met. Um, but anyways, so it
The-
was intense, but at the same time there was fear because it's my first time, right? So I'm afraid. Am I like, is this normal? I don't know anything. I honestly didn't even ask Gino, where are we going?
What is normal?
I didn't ask him, who is this guy? I didn't ask anything. So in a way, I was kind of, no, I'm not sure. And and that's me. I mean, we're exposed to different things. And imagine someone, I was thinking, imagine that like the average person walking here, they're not gonna like that. In my opinion, they're not gonna like that
They'd be running.
because they're yeah, that's scary. They've never experienced anything. That's electricity.
But has anybody been electrocuted?
But then the most intense one,
Oh, yeah.
the most intense one when he finished was here, the forehead, and it felt like
Oh,
I felt like, can I die? And that's why I was kind of, yeah, so there was a little bit of fear, you know, you have to trust a little bit, right? I mean, I trusted, of course, for allowing him to do this. But then at some point I felt like he might fry my brain. I might die right here, right now. Seriously, that's how I thought at the end.
it's
And
a
then-
lot of electricity. A
At the end,
lot.
I was like, okay,
It's unreal.
I think he knew, okay, that's it for her. But I think
Yeah.
if now that I trust him, maybe if I go back, I would let him just take care of me. I don't care, you know.
When he did the forehead, my whole third eye was lit up like a Christmas tree. After he goes, "Did you see the light?" Yeah, yeah. Like I was unreal. But the electricity is not the feeling of electricity you get from AC.
That's,
That direct current, body works on direct current, DC. If anybody know what a Windhurst machine is, it's a little device that produces electrical discharges. It's like when you get shocked from a carpet, that's DC. So it's very high voltage. Like it kind of hurts, but it's not like that horrible AC feeling. This is why people can have survived lightning bolt strikes because it's DC current. So that's the current that it's being produced, but it's very high voltage. Like we had a Windhurst machine here. We were doing experiments with that thing, and I think that thing there was like 20 or 30,000 volts. This was stronger than that, a lot
So I don't understand.
stronger.
I didn't ask him any questions because I felt there's no point. But you know, I wanted him to do the job. He's busy. But how does he generate the energy?
He doesn't generate it. He's harvesting it.
chapter.
He's harvesting it. Did you see what he was going? He's
Yeah,
harvesting,
It's a conduit.
and then he probably releases it through you.
yeah. This is absolutely amazing.
That's
I've
all in the
never-
fields.
Like I was thinking, maybe he's standing on some electrical thing and he's transmitting it to me. I really had no idea what was happening. But
It's a conduit.
I mean, the whole time I was like, that's amazing. I keep telling him, that's amazing. I've never experienced anything like that before. Absolutely
It's,
amazing. I was I've never seen anything like that. I think it's called Avesta. You're asking the name. I think it's called because I came back here and I started searching. Bioenergy, maybe. I don't know.
It's a form of Qigong, I think. Just harvesting energy.
It seems like maybe also you have to kind of be hypnotized to kind of feel it. You have to believe it to kind of feel it in a way, right? because these things don't just work. You have to kind of trust and you have to feel it. That's why he kept saying, focus and imagine things are, focus on my hands the whole time, and imagining, you're releasing negative energy and only think about good things. And so you have to kind of be in that kind of mood, which is kind of like hypnosis. So he can do the
Not
work better.
hypnosis. It's just focusing.
Yeah, what is hypnosis anyways? Right? What is hypnosis? It's not like it's magic. Hypnosis is
Maybe there's somebody in Europe who offers it. I don't know. It's okay if you want to go experience something like that. It's very unique. I don't think there's many people on the planet who can do that. Very, very interesting.
I mean, the next day I think I was more tired than usual, and maybe today as well. It's been 2 days. I think it may have opened something. Actually, today I cried for like 2 hours. Yeah.
So some emotional release. Then.
Nothing to do with me.
Yeah, you're a nice trigger. A stimulant. If you guys want stimulation. Yeah. On top of the herbs.
Yeah. Everything's possible. Like we don't know anything about anything.
No.
Like we really don't. There's Greg Braden goes into a lot of this stuff. He toured the world in a lot of these monasteries and stuff, where he's seen evidence of the stories of where monks were able to put their hand into a rock, solid rock, and change the form. I don't know if you've listened to Greg Braden. He goes into all this stuff. This is all possible once you understand and work with the fields. You're not going to do this with matter state. Not going to happen. And is why in the Master Fast realm, we pulled away from the mainstream detox world terminology and use our own terminology. There's no words really to describe it, anything, but we've changed it, plasma level always flowing, the fields, field strength, and et cetera, and all the terminology we use, because we are tended to be creatures of habits. And if we use the words that we've always used, they're attached to certain meanings and so on and so forth. So we don't want to be fallen into that program. We need to allow ourselves to let that program go. We've already been there, and move up and expand our awareness into the new realms, the limitless realms. That's why we say in MFS and that's fast system, everything's possible. Is there anything that you guys seen that didn't make your jaw drop in some cases of what happened with some people? Like it blows me away. Even today, looking at some of these transformations that people went through, and it didn't happen.
There's nothing like our own experiences, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that you can't forget. You can't forget,
like,
to feel it.
Bones that were bent from birth straightening out. That one there was kind of pretty amazing.
Wouldn't mind that one happening. My legs have been bent since I was born.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Which part?
Both tibias.
Sorry?
The tibia.
Oh, the tibia.
Both legs.
Yeah, they're bent?
Both. Both and twisted.
Don't be surprised, Steve.
Yeah, about 4 inches of height if they were straight.
That was Kendra. She was the first one that her legs straightened out, back straightened out, her ribs straightened out. And then there was also, what's her name? There are a few people that their spines straightened out, but the spine is, it's flexible. So that there, yeah, okay. But, a solid bone, people they can't believe that can straighten out. But yeah, it can't
It's
straighten
amazing.
out.
On this,
Who's the other one? Latrice. Her whole
Yeah.
body.
Your back.
Her jaw, her back, her hips.
when I started this one.
A lot of people I've seen their feet. They were, they had the feet outwards for their whole lives. Straighten out. So they walk straight now. I've seen a few of those.
Did you guys also notice that your shoes are maybe bigger usually because your feet are much less inflamed? They're smaller. My shoes are always bigger when I fast. I mean, yeah, so my feet are smaller because less inflammation. The whole thing is even my fingers, everything becomes so much more, I don't know, flexible and not inflamed.
There was a huge shift in the yoga practice this week. I could get so much deeper into the poses. I mean, it was like a switch, like a switch. It's like holy shit.
Keep us posted when you start eating again.
Yeah. Well, tough week emotionally though, with the loss of my friend. That I allowed myself to feel the loss, and that stuck.
Yeah, it's okay for a short while. You don't want to dwell into that. The people say, "Oh, you should be able to grieve." Yeah, but you don't want to be in grief for weeks and months.
No. It's already in its place.
Yeah. Okay, you grieve, you take your time, whatever, a few days, and move out of that. That's very disempowering. That.
Oh, it is. No, it's
When did he pass?
Tuesday morning.
Elevated soul.
Was he young?
He was in a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
He had some intestinal stuff, pancreatitis, and some gallbladder stuff going on. And then he contracted COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But they got that under control. Actually, he was supposed to be released. He was supposed to be going out within a couple of days to the rehab. And they just found him unresponsive. Then he crossed over.
Treating him for what? For COVID or for what?
I don't know what they're putting down.
Mm.
There's no autopsy done, so they're probably, I would imagine they'll put COVID down. He was on they released him from the COVID ward, so they had cleared it. So I don't know what they'll.
Was he in
determine
the
as.
hospital for a long time?
Yeah, about 4 weeks,
Oh.
but not from the COVID, from the other stuff.
And over there, he got COVID while he was there?
No, he contracted, he was an interior designer, and the carpenter that was doing the job actually passed it on.
Mm. At home.
It's they die of the treatments.
Beautiful soul. One of the most gentlest men I've ever met in my life.
How young?
68, 69. Not too old.
Mm.
The elevated soul.
Mm.
That soar through the.
One of the best things, one of his, I've known him from AA. And one of the best things that he used to repeat over the years is, when in doubt, put out love.
Can't get any more basic than that.
I mean, that's just beautiful.
Awesome. But what did he die of? In my opinion, he died of the treatment and whatever they did.
The hospital killed him, no question. I mean,
When they go to the hospital, in my
he's
opinion.
in the hospital. I was
Yeah.
hoping he'd get out of there, but I had my doubts.
Third leading cause of death by their own records is doctors. Fourth is drugs they prescribe.
Oh, lifestyle. I mean, he wasn't overweight and all that happy stuff.
Going back to the electricity stuff, I know when every time I go on the long drives, when we're in the martial arts class, I shock everybody like crazy. So the field strength goes way up, and is why your body's producing so much more electricity. The body doesn't run on electricity, it produces it.
Each cell, from what I understand, produces a half a volt. You know how many cells there are in the body?
Millions.
Trillions.
Exactly. So if you can harness that much, you can light up whatever you want. You don't need you don't think there's such thing as infinite sources of power supplies that we can access? Of course there is.
Tesla had it.
Of course.
Tesla had it.
100 years ago. And many others that they've
Right.
taken off, bought out or killed.
Well, look at what's left on the planet, like the pyramids and how they moved those stones. They didn't do it by brute force.
Nope.
You changed the fields.
It's interesting how we're disconnected from that knowledge. Like all of a sudden humanity, we have no connection of how it was done. We're strange, very strange. Many, many things around the world like that, right?
Yeah.
Just nobody knows. Okay.
This is your son. I heard the car.
Yeah. Interesting times. But yeah, so if you can find anybody that does anything like that, it would be worth just to go for the experience and have some fun.
Yeah, I felt it a little bit when my friend was studying Reiki and she was practicing on me. I'm sure it was not on that level whatsoever, but
Do you have tools for market?
the electricity.
Where are they?
In the garage.
He says in the garage.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize this.
On the floor in the garage. Come say hi.
Riley. Hey,
Special guest.
Yeah, Gina's kids.
come here. There's Riley. Remember this guy?
Come back. Come on here.
Hello.
Riley. You don't like me. It's amazing he came to me.
Yeah. Just finished work? Yeah, I
Good
work
boy.
at 6 a.m. too. Wow, more. Yeah.
Where is it, in the garage?
In the
Yeah.
garage on the floor.
The garage. You didn't make him
No, stay with you. Go back.
go?
Hey? So yeah. Paula, hello Paula.
Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Good boy. Sorry. Well, I was easy.
So anybody else? Anything interesting? We can
It's cold. Got cold.
getting cooler. It's nice. As soon as the first cold starts, got to get used to it and
Yeah,
tap into it. It's nice, feels nice.
we're below freezing.
You get those days where you don't really feel like feeling cold, and then you get the other days where it's just awesome, beautiful, crisp, cold. It feels good. So you got to tap into more of that.
Mm.
Really
Growing season's finally over. We had a hard freeze last night.
Yeah.
My lettuce survived though. I got everything covered, so it survived it. I don't know if it'll survive the week. We're supposed to be cold all week.
All right, let me go see what these kids want. We'll call it a close. You guys can do the meditation on your own, and we'll catch up next time on an unexpected visit.
Enjoy.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us
Thank you,
always.
Tina. Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you on the page, and we'll see you on Facebook next call and next week. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night.
Always focus on the plasma love always flowing. Ciao, ciao.